The Art of Nigeria project is a dream, actually. It was something that was birthed out of other adventures we had seen. I traveled to Europe once and I got a few adventure DVDs, and we came here and I watched the DVDs and I shared them with members of our club, the Eagles Motorcycle Club. And as we were watching the DVDs and just communicating back and forth, we were like, people are doing around the world, all sorts of, through different axes, people are going around the world on motorcycles, people are doing adventure. But all we see are like they're Caucasians. We haven't seen black people do round the world adventures and stuff like that. So it just, occurred to me. Why? Maybe we could do this, and then Fodex, and said, yeah, we could. I think we could do this. And then we shared that idea with Rohit, and he's like, yeah, we could do this.
Well, I've been a part of this project pretty much from inception. Though getting too old to ride, I wish it came 20 years back. I would have definitely been a part of it.
I got called to participate in the Art of Nigerian project. And when Mr. T told me about it, I felt it was a fascinating experience. I thought it was going to be a brilliant adventure. And it was an adventure I was really, really looking forward to. Way through to Europe and then finally to North America. So, brilliant project. Looking forward to it.
There's no African or anybody of African descent, black, that has done what we're trying to do now. Do the round the world trip, have a very good film company, film it, and then broadcast it as we ride for 2 months. It's not been done.
It's really about getting to experience diverse culture within Africa and in its environs. Also crossing over to Europe and for the Europeans to see that out of Nigeria, came these adventurers who are putting Nigeria on the map.
We want to bring something that corporate organizations can use as a marketing vehicle for them that is very powerful, very unique, and impacts the world. Because the OON project is a game changer for us.
Create a brand that can be marketed outside the country. Take the Nigerian mentality, the Nigerian attitude, the swag that we are talking about. Take it to the general public.
Before now, the Eagle Motorcycle Club had done rides to Ilorin. Now, Ilorin is the capital of Kwara State. We rode there to do some charity projects, to actually support a motherless baby's home first, and then a juvenile education or re-education center that is managed by the Nigeria Prisons Authority. We've been to Ilorin twice. We've been to Abeokuta. Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State. That's my state, actually. It's about 120 kilometers from here. We've done that a number of times. We've been to Abuja. Abuja is about 750 kilometers from Lagos, so we've been there, and we also supported the charity there that's called the Jilali Basketball Foundation. About 10 months ago, thereabout, we rode to Lomé, where it was a beautiful ride. We've been to Ghana, we've been to Abidjan in Ivory Coast, and they've been experiences for us that we're just adding feathers to everything towards culminating into something that was quite interesting. So the round the world trip for us is the iconic ride for us so far. The biggest thing we've ever tried to do, and we're making quite significant progress with that.
Until you told me this today, I don't know that this is in the office. There will be many Nigerians. Yeah. If with the map, with the things and all that, you show, you make the press for 15 minutes, maybe, not more than that. Tell them the objective of this, how you come about the idea, background, the profile of the three of you.
Thanks so much to Rohit, who has been able to get General Olusegun Obasanjo to endorse this project. Now, he didn't only endorse it, he's given us a letter endorsing the project, and he volunteered to be at every press conference we organize, and that he's actually going to be there to flag us off on the day of departure. That's a major endorsement. That's like a major stepping stone for us.
For somebody like me who want to encourage and mentor up and coming people. What we are trying to do is something that should be encouraged.
I will be the filmmaker for the Out of Nigeria trip. I run a production company based here in the UK. We make films for the TV industry and also for corporate businesses and big brands. So I first got involved with the Out of Nigeria trip when I was contacted by Toyin. Apparently what he'd done is he'd contacted the production company behind Ewan McGregor's Long Way Round trip and film. They'd put him in touch with a good friend of mine, Austin Vince, who's a very famous adventure motorcyclist in his own right.
So I spoke to Charlie Bowman's manager, and he now said to me, he sent me an email and said, why don't you talk to Austin Vince?
Now, me and Austin have been making adventure motorcycling films for coming up to 15 years now. We've been working together many years.
So after I spoke with him, he said, I'm not chanced to do it if you can't do it by yourself, but I can introduce you to somebody who is very good.
And Austin was not available to get involved in this trip, so he put Toyin on to me. When I first heard about it, I couldn't quite believe it was true, but as soon as I met Toyin and I really heard his passion and his enthusiasm and the whole motivations behind the trip, I was hooked and I was desperate to be involved.
Going to span 17 countries. In detail, I think that covers 34,000 miles, start to finish.
What we intend to do is to plan properly, strategize how we're going to approach the trip.
We're still planning and looking at what happens between the next 4 months, pending when we're going to actually hit the road. So I think the route will be cast in stone a month or 2 weeks before that ride. We decided to go through West Africa and then all curve up towards the north. From Senegal we ride into Mauritania, or we cut this place.
So right
through
Ivory Coast straight to
through Mali, and then into Mauritania, up into Morocco, by ferry into Spain.
I know you got my back, I know, don't worry. I'm gonna ride, ride away. Gonna ride on, gonna ride on, gonna ride on, gonna ride on.
All across Europe that way, until we get to Belarus. This will be our entry point into Russia. And then somewhere along this route to take a plane into Alaska. Continues here, and then Canada, we take a plane from there. Sorry.
Tanglewood's role in the build-up to the Out of Nigeria trip is really around social media and building up a following and building up awareness online about the trip and about the goals of the trip. So this involves setting up social media accounts, contacting different communities around the world who we think might be interested in finding out more about this trip and getting involved and participating and engaging in dialogue and telling people about it and getting people really excited about it.
We hopefully take off in March of 2015 and plan to spend about 20 days on our own continent. 20 days in Europe, then about 10 days through the North Americas and then back.
So our involvement on the trip is that I will be going along with the team. I will be riding with them throughout the whole trip and I'll be filming everything. But what's different about this trip and what we're going to do here is that I will be filming and editing on the road, which means that I'll be able to send videos back that will be posted online throughout the trip. So audiences and people around the world will be able to keep tabs and keep track of what's going on the trip as it unfolds. That's the exciting bit about this trip.
We didn't even debate the bike to ride because, for instance, the movie that inspired us, the documentary, which was Long Way Round and Long Way Down, the bikes that were ridden were BMW GS 1200 bikes. This bike is a 1,200cc bike, BMW, that was built for adventure, on-road or off-road. So first of all, it's very comfortable. The suspension of this bike is surreal. The braking system, the ABS system is fantastic. And then you can see that it has very, the clearance from the ground is high. So even when you're in water, I mean, you can actually ride this bike through almost 2 feet of water, and all you need to do is probably just bring out the plugs and stuff, and with very little maintenance you're on the road again. It's very durable and very popular. Almost any country you're riding through. I mean, GS 1200 is like an iconic bike for any adventurer.
It's my Bumblebee, that's what I call it.
These are the standard adventure bikes. They're the GX 1200. They are multi-terrain motorcycles. They can cut through water, cut through rough surfaces. At the same time, they can ride through a normal tarred road. So very agile, very robust, easy to maintain. And yeah, they are just, they tank, basically. They're fantastic, very, very strong bikes. They got the speed when you need it.
Now for repairs, we're going with things that can help us fix tires, little electrical problems, nothing major.
You can't get a better bike to cover this. Most people in the past, they've used the GS series to embark on the trip. So yeah, we're looking forward to the experience of partnering with BMW to showcase how wonderful and strong the bike is.
So I'm good to go.
I really feel that the fact that these three amazing people are doing such an adventure could really spark off not just interest around the world, but could really motivate people to change their own lives, to think about Nigeria and Africa in a completely different light. It's not every day you get an opportunity to have an impact like that on a global stage.
It's a fantastic opportunity to put Nigeria there for people to see that, we have great people in Nigeria. We have fantastic people who can think on their feet and they can come up with fantastic projects.
Being involved it's sort of a privilege to me, a privilege because of what it's out to achieve.
This project, I believe, will do well for us as a country and as a youth, because we will be positioned in a way, at least globally, the name Nigeria will come out in the line of adventure through our hobby, biking. And that, I believe, it's something adding to the nation in this present situation that we find ourselves, not just in the negative.
As far as what it will go to achieve, A, inculcate the spirit of adventure in the Nigerian youth, which I think is lacking because Nigerian youth are not into adventure. So first thing it will do is bring the adventure into mainstream Nigeria. And second thing it will do is propagate Nigeria as being more than just Boko Haram or all the other things that we hear negative.
Out of Nigeria is meant to be an aspect of the country that changes that, wherein we can have Nigerians doing things that are at par with things that you see on Discovery Channel, for instance, where you have people taming the wild, the geography, basically the wild aspects of untamed countryside. These are fantastic opportunity to put Nigeria on the map, so that countries that are not aware or have known Nigeria to be full of, or Nigerians to be corrupt people or to be people that are of no good. Nigerians are not the con men that you always think we are. We are not. We're adventurers, we're entrepreneurs, and we also we have our sights on things that you see on international media.
For it to get the kind of followership and get the message done right the way we need it to be, it needs to be appreciated first at home.
So it is that right which is meant to underscore probably the transitioning of our country, wherein we also move from a developing nation to a fully developed country.
It's not just about the fun, it's not just about the adventure or the history that is about to be created. But you also need to realize that it's been named out of Nigeria for a reason. It's to sell the brand Nigeria, to say something great, something historical is coming out of this country.
Being in Nigeria now 20 years, I'm proud to be here. I love the country, and I feel this positivity that this ride will bring about will go a long way towards lifting the international image.
Without sounding pedantic, it's outside the country. It's never been done before.
I could see the potential impact that this trip could have in Nigeria, in Africa, but also around the world. And that was hugely exciting for me, and I really wanted to be a part of it.
Home-based challenge is biggest one right now is raising sponsorship, because what we're trying to do is very unique. If you look at what's going on in the country, brands that support projects that are almost already established, or with people that are highly seriously connected. We don't really know anybody.
Trying to get the message of what we're trying to do sold to our own people, such that it will receive the backing it requires right from home.
We're getting a bit of interest. We're getting corporate organizations calling us and say, okay, we want to understand more, we want to see what you're, and then we're sending the proposals to them. But the biggest challenge has been funding.
I sincerely hope government agencies and private companies join us and participate in making this a success.
I'm hugely excited about this trip. The thing I'm most looking forward to is really making sure that I document the trip, and really to try and promote the aims of the trip and to make a really, really awesome film at the end of it.